Well, we're back. I'm back on camera, sweating it up again. This time I'm joined with some really cool people from our community. They're kind of representative of different areas of the community in most games, and ours is not any exception. You know, we've got cosplayers, tournament organizers, video creators, fan artists, and we're going to talk to them now because they're much more interesting than I am. Before that, because I was just looking at the chat, what up to all the trolls? You can stop whenever you want with the trolling because you don't need to say exclamation point rewards. You don't need to say anything in the chat to get Twitch drops. So please stop because you're ruining the chat for everybody and you're awful. So stop doing that. Okay, so now let's get down to business. We're going to start with you, X. How are you doing?
I'm slowly melting into a puddle right now. It's hot.
If I'm hot, just like in regular street clothes, you're wearing literal armor and chainmail.
Yeah, it's 20 pounds and can get upwards to 90 degrees. My first convention, I drank over 138 ounces of water.
Oh my God, that's a very precise number.
I was counting, and I was still felt really dehydrated.
So I think people will recognize you because when you posted your photos, which I think we might be showing here through the segment, there was a really great reaction to it. It was the photography was on point, and obviously the costume is amazing, and I think they're really evocative of something. So I wonder if you could talk about like the process of putting this piece together because it's really amazing. Like the detail is really amazing on it.
Yeah. So normally I cosplay fringe characters that are recognized like by one or two people at a convention because going out in front of people is very nerve-wracking. I had a near heart attack when you invited me here. So when For Honor came out and there was a character that was female wearing armor that was not chainmail bikini, and I was like, I didn't know I wanted this until I saw it, and I didn't want to just do a warden. I wanted to do the warden of the campaign due to a number of issues. One, I was moving into a condo, and when you work with foam, you need to blast it with a blowtorch in order to actually mold it. I could not do that without burning down my neighbors and my own apartment. So I love the game, but I don't love it that much. So I like to say I am just the model for this. I was in charge of weaponry, hair, makeup, couple of tailoring and remaking issues. But this was actually done by a group who specializes in armor. They've done anything from Halo to World of Warcraft to they recently just did a piece for Warhammer 40K. I mean, you want to talk about complicated armors there. So I contacted them and I was like, this is a very well-known character, the For Honor franchise. Like, this is one of the faces, and this is something you're interested in, working with me on. They looked at it and said, this is a complicated piece. I was like, I know. So there was a lot of back and forth, let's do this, let's weather this, let's try for real chainmail. No, this is going to cost too much, let's bring it back a little bit. It took them about 2 months to make.
Wow.
And then I contacted a photographer in Maryland that I met at a convention who goes by SF Design. And we were actually in a public park when we took those photos. And wearing this armor is not practical.
Right.
I'm over here playing normal mode. I will preface this. This is made of foam. There are cosplayers out there like Mr. Pan and Rotten Kraken who are wearing real leather and chainmail and doing performances in upwards of 40 to 80 pounds of armor. They're over here playing realistic. So I was in a public park and the reactions I got were pretty good. Daddy, is that a real knight? Is she gonna fight dragons?
I hope he said yes.
Yes.
If he was a good dad, he said yes, it is.
Actually, he pulled me away and was like, we don't talk to people who are dressed like that. No, he thought it was nuts.
How long does it take to get this thing on?
Makeup takes about 45 minutes, depending on who's putting it on. It can take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. My assistant here today, Cannoli, well, we were in the dressing room, and she's going, damn it, why is this so hard?
It's very complex.
Yeah.
It's made to look good in the game. It's not made to be worn practically.
Yeah, the shoulder charge picture, the way the warden does the shoulder charge, she's not actually holding it in, this upward position. You can't get to that position in this armor. It's not mobile. Once I'm in this armor, I need someone to hold my phone. I am helpless. I am the most worthless warden possible.
It's true that knights had a hard time holding their phones.
Yes, I call my assistants my squires.
Amazing. and you're working on something new, yeah?
So right now, one of the things I wanted to do, because I enjoy painting and building things, was I love this woman back here.
Yes, Apollyon.
Yes, I do like her. I was a big fan of the campaign. And I was like, I want to make a one-to-one replica of her sword.
Oh, amazing.
And one of my coworkers I was telling about, he's like, you could 3D print that. I'm like, that's a really good idea. So I'm making a one-to-one scale replica of her sword. It's about 5 feet 3 inches, almost my height.
Wow.
And we're working on modeling that in Blender, and then we're going to see, what material is, within our budget range to print it.
Perfect. I could talk to you for an hour, but we only have just a few minutes, so I'm going to keep our interview rolling. We've got a man here dressed better than anybody at the show named Dashu.
Yeah, I'm channeling my inner Clutchmeister. We're bringing on sponsorship, UDA Dashu.
So you basically know all these players. Like, you're interesting to me, and what you do is interesting because you represent a group of people called tournament organizers. You yourself have done a number of them. I don't know if you know how many for Honor specifically.
It's over 20 for Honor.
Sweet.
So
yeah,
you can't even count them anymore.
So you're really familiar kind of with that player community. So if you're reflecting back on the previous year with For Honor, what are your thoughts on that world?
Exciting, rocky. Workarounds and workarounds and workarounds to get tournaments going, especially broadcast.
Yep.
You wouldn't believe how much we had to do. I have to get different casters. I'm just some guy. I'm managing casters and employee forms. So it was really an adventure. But I like to refer back to, they call it the golden age of competitive For Honor, where we had the Panda Global huge 2K tournament. We had the For Glory cross-country weeklies, or separate region weeklies, and For Honor Legends all at the same time. So there was so much going on. It slowed down a little, but I'm actually really hopeful for going forward with some of the changes that you guys have made.
Yeah, I think we brought you to the studio. You get to see some stuff and have some cool discussions with our devs, and hopefully they actually have learned from you, I think, some features that would be helpful for people in your position that are organizing tournaments. So we obviously aren't announcing anything today, but stay tuned. Anything else you want to say before I hit our other guests? Because I'm sorry, we're running out of time.
Oh yeah, you gotta rush through. Just know that they hear you guys, they see everything, and they're really working on things that make the game interesting and add competitive depth. You'll see in the characters later, there's things you can do. There's character identities and actual viable moves. So that's all I have to say. They're working on awesome stuff. And,
cool.
Keep tuned.
Well, thank you, Dashu. That brings us to Spliced. That boy. What's up?
Hey, Eric. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
My name is Austin, known as Spliced on YouTube, and I have spent 90% of 2017 playing For Honor.
Wow. That's a lot of 2017.
Yeah, it is.
Did you sleep?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to hope so.
So they may or may not be showing your video while we chat, but you are a video creator. How many For Honor videos have you made roughly over the last year?
Roughly, I'd have to guess 300, maybe
Wow.
more. I didn't really look at the number because every day I try every time to just make whatever I can come up with. Come with new ideas, new things to make, and if I don't really have anything for the day, then I try to get something for that day, whether if it's just some short gameplay or something that I can do to communicate to community and just show them that I'm still really prevalent on making videos for this game and just really enjoying it as much as I can.
Well, one of the kind of series of videos you've done that I'm a big fan of because it helps our community are the guide videos. And,
yes.
And you're not the only one. It's a cool thing that a lot of people have done, but I'm a fan of your guides because it's really a way, maybe if you're watching right now and you haven't played too much For Honor, if you check out Spliced channel, you can really learn whether it's a specific hero or you want to learn more advanced moves. You've got a lot there.
Yeah, so right now I only have 4 guides, but that's mainly because I'm not trying to be known as someone who does guides,
Diverse. Diversify.
I usually make the guides when I feel like it is necessary to tell people how to play this character, or I feel like I really learned the character. I don't want to come out day one and say, hey, this is how you play this character if I don't really know everything about the character. So I spend a lot of time, and if I just still don't really know, then I won't really release a guide on it. So,
cool.
But other than that, I do try to make some really unique things, and the video that you guys just saw was a clip from one of the series I called Anti-Gank Compilation, where I learned pretty early on in the game that I was pretty prevalent on taking on people in 1v2, 3, and even 1v4 situations sometimes. And I figured, why not just record a bunch of them and make a series out of it? And that's pretty much just a bunch of different things that I've been putting together,
Sweet.
making videos. Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you very much.
And now to our final guest, again, because we're running out of time, and I'm sorry, guys. This is Titletown Relo. You are a fan artist, is what we call on my side of the fence. You're an artist.
Yes, I am.
And I am a huge fan of your work, and I think hopefully we can scroll through it while we chat.
Yeah.
You're actually wearing a piece on your shirt right
I
now,
am,
which is one of your
one of my first character pieces, which really started this trend of going through the entire roster. It was my Kensei piece. I'm wearing it now. I printed a bunch of them. I got one for you back in the room over there. But it's been a really great process just going through and illustrating these guys.
So is that, you have a very distinct style. Obviously, your guys all wear cons, which I love.
Oh yeah, that's more of like a samurai thing. That's just, it's just a weird.
Samurais just wear cons.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now they're starting to roll them now, so we can see. You're right. It's a samurai because the conch is not wearing them.
I guess
he's actually wearing Vans,
Yeah,
which is I'm a Vans guy myself, so no big deal.
There you go.
No big deal. But tell me about your process a little bit in the time that we have left.
Okay, well, for these guys, it's pretty straightforward. You start off with like a rough pencil sketch, and you just keep adding more and more detail, and then you move on to the colors. What I try doing is I try adding another dimension that people who love this game can appreciate, and other stuff as well, is I would add all these different references, different Easter eggs in there, such as the Converse. If you look at the Kensei piece, you have the Ubisoft logo there. Sometimes it's the unblockable symbol. In here, in the Valkyrie piece, you have the Vikings logo from the TV show. You have the PlayStation logos on the on the blade itself. You have a bunch of other stuff. I try. It got more and more ambitious as I went on, especially with the recent Warden piece, where that was my most ambitious piece with 3 characters. And
yeah, I wanted to show it, but unfortunately we're out of time.
It's all good.
But before we go, if people want to give shout-outs, like I said, you're representative of different groups in our community. Do you want to give any shout-outs to any other cosplayers?
Yeah, so definitely Mr. Pan, who I think you referred to as Cosplay Dad.
He's Cosplay Dad. I love Pan.
And Rotten Kraken, who is a medieval history student, so everything she does is super legit, and the community is really small, so anyone who really cosplays for honor, it's just super supportive. It's like, hey, come join this little group.
Yeah, you all know each other.
Yeah.
I love that. And how about you? Any other artists?
There are a ton of fan artists, but 2 that I would love to shout out would be English Butter. She makes these great chibi illustrations. Another would be iFragmentix.
Yes.
They make some great illustrations, and I would definitely recommend checking them out.
Definitely. And how about other?
I think I'll let Dashu go first.
Okay, sure.
Just people that helped me out along the way. Asari, the players, Barris, and Scorebrand for always giving feedback. Hugs and Snow, everyone who helped out and for the kind words.
Cool. And Spliced?
I just want to give a quick shout out to my dad, my sister, all my YouTube friends, and all my YouTube subscribers. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for 60,000 subscribers. Just reached it. Also want to give a quick big shout out to Tim the Tatman. Love your streams, man. Yeet! Dab on the haters. Zero crack, don't laugh at me.
Wow. He was trying to make me do the dab, and he did it himself. Thank God I didn't have to. I'm sorry you had to see the dab. And again, stop trolling in the chat. Nobody wants to see that. Let's keep this a fun stream. Stop saying raffle. Stop saying you don't need it. You don't need crates. It's just connect your account, your Ubisoft account to your Twitch account. Go to forhonorgame.com/Twitch drops for how to actually do that. So no more of the spam, please. And now let's get back to some actual action. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's head back to the game.
Wow. We actually did see a dab on stream. That was
Had been a while,
that was unexpected.